Democracy cannot succeed unless those who express their choice are prepared to choose wisely. The real safeguard of democracy, therefore, is education. Remember, in a world of strife and division, the ballot box outmuscles the bullet. Good evening and welcome to Atn Politics. Atn Politics is the network's flagship program that discusses core political trends with relevant political stakeholders. Today on Atn Politics, we will be discussing core issues from different political landscapes. And Zamfara State crisis rocks SDP as party gets new chairman, and on party politics, APC convention will showcase party's growth, Iwada. And on the electoral reform, SDP fought serious over real-time result transmission, and 2027, Nigerians demand real-time election results upload as exequestly, cautions lawmakers. And don't forget to open for sponsorship of this program, jingles and advert placements, news and events coverage, personality, society and political interviews, products, service promotion and commercials. Watch us live on www.atlanticnetwork.tv on Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network on Apple TV channel 205, Lime's TV platform, iFastech platform, Apple TV, Niger TV, Eurocode TV. Connect with us on and social, subscribe, like and share Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1 and on X at Atlantic TV Net. We got on a short break and when we return, I'll introduce my guests on the show and we'll dive right into our stories. Do stay tuned. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Joining me on today's episode of Atn Politics is Ms. Agbajeronye Chiamaka Light, a political analyst. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you for being on the show this evening.
It's my pleasure.
I'll move to our first story. National Secretariat of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, has appointed architect Bilal Aliyu as the Zamfara State chairman of the party. In a statement dated February 5, 2006, Aliyu expressed gratitude to the national chairman, Professor Sadiq Omar Abubakar Gombe, the national secretary, Dr. Olu Agunloye, and members of the National Working Committee, NWC, for the trust and confidence reposed in him. Aliyu said his appointment comes with the mandate to mobilize party members, strengthen party structures across Zamfara State, and promote the ideals of the SDP. The new state chairman pledged to build a strong, united and people-centered SDP capable of delivering hope, justice and good governance to the people of Zamfara State. He also called on party members to work collectively towards progress, unity and development. However, the appointment has generated controversy within the party in the state. Another faction of the SDP has disputed Aliyu's emergence, insisting that Idris Abdullahi Bangaje remains the recognized chairman of the party in Zamfara State. Bangaje has reportedly Chiamaka, I would love to get your opinion on these development questions I have for you on that.
story, they also say that that's because of his affiliation to the party. So I don't really understand. Before someone, you know, um, shows an interest or vies for a particular position, the person must have come, from that particular party. You can't just come into a party and be a member pattern which the members of the party are trying to express. You understand?
Yeah.
So the only thing that they only recognize Mr. Baganji as the chairman of the party. So this will cause a whole lot of chaos, political chaos in the party. So by the time they resolve this chaos, you understand.
Yeah.
I think there will be a kind of peace established at the end of everything. So there will not be peace if these two party members are sorry. If there was
um, 2027 election is forthcoming.
okay. I think first of all to do with personal interest.
Okay.
Okay, yes, a personal interest. What is it that I stand to gain? Let me not see if I'm supporting a particular party or am I against a particular party. I think to do with a personal interest, because if it is not personal interest, there won't be this.
Yeah, yeah. As that.
Happy. Do you understand? Everyone every member of that party will be happy. But if we keep on having this chaos, this misunderstanding in every party, it has to do with personal interest. That's my own contribution.
I was to ask also, you spoke about party interest and personal, party objective and personal interest. Where do we use an organization as a case study? Where do we draw the line between the personal interest and the organization's core objectives? Or I know every human being seems to be interest driven, but where do we draw the line whereby I choose to substitute my own interest for the objective of the party or organization?
Okay, thank you so much for that question. I think first of all, we have to build boundaries, which is the line you are talking about, okay? But the first of all, should be the party's interests, okay? It should be for the party. But if you take it like I must do this is a do and die affair. No, that is where the boundaries comes in. That is where drawing the line comes in. And that is what is causing a lot of misunderstanding. And let me say, let me not use the word, let me not use what I have in mind.
Okay.
Let me not say it, okay?
Okay.
But we should build boundaries, we should draw a line in everything. Yes, I know first of all is the party's interest. Then after the party's interest, which is the primary interest, then the secondary interest can come in. Do you get?
Yeah, I do.
But if we keep on doing it on the secondary interest, no, we will not be able to actualize the primary interest, which is the party's what? Interest. The thing is, people need to know, people need to see what this party stands for.
Okay.
What are they actually doing? What they are saying they will do for us? Do you understand? So in everything first, check if it will benefit the people. Yes, I know you will benefit something personally from your own end, but first of all, and the first thing to do, have people's interests at heart. I'm sorry, I'm going to bring this thing in.
Okay.
I'm not trying to sound a kind of biblical or something, but everything that happens around us emanates from the Bible to that literature. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So in some cases and in some circumstances, we shouldn't just let our personal interest overshadow the interest of the party.
Oh.
First of all, and that is the reason why when you join a party, you need to know their vision.
Oh.
You need to know, do you understand? What are we doing? Where are we heading at? What is our goals? What is our 5 years or 2 years goal? It's not after 1 year, after 2 years, we keep on, it's not stable, it's shaky. So I think it starts from the house. There is something that is fishy, or let me not use the word fishy, something is going wrong on the ground. So until that thing is corrected, then we'll now see peace from both ends. Thank you, sir.
All right, Ms. Chamaka, thank you for your opinion on that story. We'll move on to the next story on our discussion list. National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Dr. Nentawe Iwada, on Thursday said the ruling party's forthcoming national convention and congresses would reflect its growing diversity amid an influx of new members and governors. Iwada spoke to State House correspondents after a closed-door meeting with President Bola Tinubu at the presidential villa Abuja, where he said preparations for the convention and internal congresses were reviewed alongside key stakeholders across the arms of government and party structures. The party chair said the pre-convention planning activities had brought together the party leadership, the National Assembly caucus, and sub-national leaders to harmonize plans and timelines ahead of the exercises. According to him, the party is aligning its timetable and planning activities to ensure smooth coordination and inclusivity across all levels of government. Iwada said the APC's expansion had continued since Tinubu assumed office, with new members and governors joining the party, making it necessary to design processes that accommodate both old and new stakeholders without marginalization. We have new members who have come in, new governors, new members. The party is expanding every day. We want to ensure that in the course of this growth, everybody and nobody is left behind, he said. The APC has recorded a wave of defections from opposition parties in the 2023 general elections, accounting for 29 out of the 36 state governorship seats. The convention slated for March 2026 is expected to set the tone for the party's internal realignment ahead of the 2027 election cycle, including zoning, leadership composition, and the integration of new power blocks. Iwada said President Tinubu's input at the meeting was pivotal, describing the president as a seasoned politician whose experience had helped drive the APC's recent growth. Mr. President is a short politician, very experienced, and his advice was remarkable. The expansion, the growth, is because of his experience and his depth of knowledge in the political cycle, he said. Miss Comfort, I beg your pardon, APC convention showcasing the party's growth, according to Professor Nentawe Iwada, the national chairman. What's your take on his statements before we go into the other issues regarding the story?
Okay, thank you very much. The thing is, there was something that really caught my attention as you were talking, that the president, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is a seasoned and experienced man. Something came into my mind as you were saying that, or rather making that statement. For anyone, irrespective of any sphere or any sector you find yourself, what helps you to do well in that particular sphere are the knowledge you've acquired over the years.
Okay.
Yes, for them to say that he's an experienced and a seasoned politician. He has been in the field, okay? And being in the field has also made him mastered a lot of political semantics. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yes, it's a good one. And they said they had emergence of both old and new um, governors, like political members, right? You mentioned
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that, right?
Yes, addition of new members from the friend from.
Yes, addition of yes, from that particular party, that's APC, right?
Yes, I could.
Yes, if okay, sorry to cut it short, if in an organization or let's say any setting at all, okay, growth at times, what determines growth at times is population, but don't just depend on that population.
Okay.
Okay, for people to troop in into the party means that yes, they like the party, they love everything about the party, and they are ready to contribute their quota to the growth of the party. That is a positive sign, and that is a beautiful one at that. But as time goes on too, as they are, let me say, admitting new party members, they need to be oriented
Okay.
so as to enable them do well. Because a lot of persons too, aside politics, when some people are not well oriented, do you understand? They won't deliver very well. So when you teach people, they will have peace. When you teach people, they'll be able to do well. That's one of my take and one of my contribution in this. It's a good one. Yes, the party is expanding. We are having a lot of human capital and all of that. But the thing now is they need to consider their returning abilities. How do we return these people? How do we train them so as to be able to represent the party out there very well? That's
Okay.
my take.
Okay. Miss Chamaka, when I was in school, we had an issue.
Yes.
The medical department of my school, we need 350 students. Yes, 350 students for med surg as admission. But you find out that at the end of the day, they give admission to 700 students. So they pack them and they pack them. Everyone is what I study massage. Then by year 2, I know it's funny. By year 2,
Okay.
they write what they call MBBS, if I'm not mistaken, MBBL, if I'm not mistaken, one of their medical examinations, and then you find out that
Yeah.
out of that 700, remember they need 350. Let's say they need, no
350, yeah.
350 is too small. One is too big. 150. They need 150. And
Because it's always small, yeah.
and then they end up getting 550 or 600. Let me break down the numbers. Now, when they write that exam, you start seeing mass failures. I know I've experienced 2 or 3 persons at 2 or 3 times that some people I know almost died in my room crying after failing the exam. In fact, they were vomiting and choking. Now, we kept on to switch to on that course because okay, they have other options. If you fail, they can put you to med lab, shift you to nursing, shift you to different from other medical oriented
SLT,
courses.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
but these persons fixate on the person. So the person I know, she wrote this exam for 3 good times. At the third time, I don't know what advice her to go and study nursing. Today she's a nursing graduate with a child. Now, I brought that scenario because you said growth, influx of new members showcase the fact that the party is doing well. Howbeit, we understand that when you pack stones of different colors, is it stones? So that means that. Okay, there's a proverb I remember from the holy book that the farmer planted something and then wheat thorns were grown amongst it, and people came to uproot the wheat, the thorns, and he said no, leave them, let them grow together. Now let's imagine that scenario as let's put in the ruling APC party, yes, in this case. Do you think that irrespective of the fact that influx of new members showcases the party is doing well in quote, that there could be a pending doom that will behold the party if care is not taken? I just brought that scenario to get your point.
Okay. I think we are going home now. We are going home. Okay, the thing is, you remember when I started, I said it should not be a yardstick to measure growth.
Okay.
But at times, when we have influx of people rushing towards, let's say, a party, an organization, yes, people say, yes, we are growing, we are expanding, and all of that. But when the time, when they start, okay, after, let me say, the orientation, you will not see the real people that were meant for that organization.
Okay.
Because a time will come, by the time you're exposed to some certain training exercises, some persons give up along the way. That means they were not really meant for that, and they were not oriented properly. The case study you just gave, the medical student case study, all right?
Yeah.
Yes, so many persons are always moved by the big name. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a pharmacist. That is beautiful. I personally, I also wanted it. I wanted pharmacy. But the cut-off mark was telling me, no, why not switch? Because the cut-off mark for that particular department, on that particular course then is high.
Okay.
Why not go through this way? Do you understand?
Okay.
And another thing is that most of us don't have a strong background foundation. And that is where orientation comes in.
Okay.
When you sensitize the people. But another thing is that during this course of sensitization, will they be able to meet up? Will they be able to learn? Because everything and anything can be learned over time. That is what I believe in. If your heart is in it. If your heart is in it. So as regards the political party now, the influx of new people into the party, time will tell. Time will tell us whether they really came for the party, or whether they're really for the party, or whether they're against for the party. That is my take. But they should not use that influx as a yardstick for growth. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Because there might be because there might be some situations that might emanate that would require them to, let's say, a kind of sit up, or that might not be convenient for them. Then that's when we'll know if they are the real ones, if they were truly meant for that party. That's my take.
Okay, one more question before we go for a break. Ms. Chamaka, the national chairman of APC posited that the influx of new members into the party is a demonstration of the political capacity of Mr. President. Now we understand that most politicians, let them not call all, are interest driven. Do you believe, would you stand with his thought that this influx of politicians into the current ruling party is because of the political prowess of the president, or personal interest seems to be in danger, thus they are running into the current power, the party that's in power, just to ensure that they win their their bid for second tenure?
This is a tricky question.
Okay.
See, some persons, okay, let me start this way. The influx of those people into the party, like I said, is not a yardstick for growth. But some persons might have different interests coming to the party. You know, some persons will say, I like this very person, let me go to that organization. Okay, let's just use our popular, wealthy personalities. Okay,
yeah,
I love this fellow, let me join his organization and be like him. You know, some persons also want to learn so that they can cover loopholes when they are there.
Okay.
Do you understand?
So
yes. Might not just say yes, we know what is happening. I wouldn't want to say what might, let's say, hurt some persons or what, I don't know. But the thing is, don't just attribute the growth to one person.
Okay.
Because it's a collective responsibility.
Okay.
Some persons are coming to effect change, some persons are coming for their personal interest. But let me shock you, okay? At times, our personal interests are being met or actualized through the party's interest.
Okay. So you're trying to posit that there will be a merging of personal interest into the party's interest, irrespective of the fact that I am just joining the party.
Yes. We know that as you are joining, your own dream is to become maybe the party chairman someday,
Okay.
an ambassador somewhere, and all of that. So when you are coming to learn. Like we all say, work to learn and don't just work to earn. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So after learning, after going through the trainings, according to what, okay, or based on what the party has in store already, when you go back to your own post, when you go back to your own sphere, do you understand?
Yeah.
Will you be able to use what you have learned so far to effect change there? Yes, because through it too, your own personal interests will be met and you will actualize them. Let me come home, okay? In our different organizational structures and all of that. Personally, there are some goals. You know, this is a new year.
Yeah.
Every party, every organization, they already have their plans. They already have their goals penned down. Do you understand? And
Yeah.
that's where the constitution comes in. Do you get?
Yeah.
Yes. And what at the end of the day, or let's say at the end of the first quarter, you might not be able. Let's say you have 3 goals. You might not be able to achieve the whole 3.
Okay.
But when you are in the midst of others, that's in the party, you'll be able to hit those 4. Let's say you only have 3 in mind. You'll be able to hit those 3. And if you sit down and check them, it is all encompassing because it must have built you emotionally.
Okay.
Do you understand? It must have built you knowledge-wise. Do you get? And by the time you get all of this knowledge, you are a total and a whole human being. If it's in education, we say we have actualized the aim of getting a total person.
Okay.
Not just politically, becoming psychologically, politically, and all of that. That is the goal. So the interest of the party will also help you actualize your own personal interest. And the influx of new party members does not actually signify its growth. Some persons are coming to learn,
All right.
while some persons are coming for their own personal.
All right, Ms. Shabaka.
Yeah.
2027 elections will decide if they are coming to learn or they are coming to seek their personal interest. At this point, we'll go to a short break, and when we return, we'll continue the rest of our stories. Do stay tuned. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. I have with me on the show Miss Chiamaka, and right now we'll delve right into the rest of our stories. Social Democratic Party SDP has called on Nigerians to resist what it described as the Senate leadership's opposition to a clear legislative mandate for the real-time electronic transmission of election results, warning that any retreat from reform could undermine public trust ahead of the 2027 general elections. The party's National Publicity Secretary Rufus Ayenigba made the call in a statement issued in Abuja on Friday amid ongoing deliberations by the 10th Senate on amendments to the Electoral Act. The party's National Publicity Secretary Rufus Ayenigba made the call in a statement amid ongoing deliberations by the 10th Senate on amendments to the Electoral Act. In a statement titled SDP stands with Nigerians to demand transparency and modernization of our elections, Ayenigba accused the Senate leadership of acting against the popular will expressed by Nigerians during nationwide public hearings on the proposed Electoral Act Repeal and Enactment Bill 2026. He said the SDP is deeply worried by the unimaginable and unpatriotic resistance of the leadership of the 10th Senate to positive change in our democratic journey, going by its deliberate attempts and actions in the ongoing reforms on the Electoral Act to go against the popular will of Nigerians to have a definite legislative mandate that will allow for real-time transmission of election results. The SDP argued that Nigerians had unequivocally spoken during the 2025 public hearings conducted by the Senate itself, calling for reforms that will move the country beyond the credibility challenges that trailed the 2023 general elections. According to the party, technologies such as the bimodal voter accreditation system and the INEC result viewing portal are indispensable to improving electoral integrity, reducing human error, and preventing manipulation during the manual movement of results. The party also insisted that resistance to electronic transmission does not reflect the views of the majority of lawmakers or the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), noting what it described. The spokesman warned that self-serving cabals within the Senate must not be allowed to derail democratic reforms, insisting that the new Electoral Act must move any ambiguity around result transmission as a more reform-minded posture by the current INEC leadership. The party therefore urged citizens, civil society organizations, and pro-democracy groups to remain vigilant and actively oppose any move that could weaken electoral transparency. While warning against a repeat of the controversies that followed the last general election, the SDP said the country cannot afford another credibility crisis in 2027. Ms. Chiamaka, we've had back and forth on this Electoral Act for like 2-3 days now, and it has really made the headlines, and it's still making the headlines. I would love to get your thoughts on this development on SDP kicking against the stance of Senate as regarding the real-time result transmission.
Thank you so much. The thing is, at this particular stage, at this particular point in time, and in our contemporary society, we ought to have gone fast by now.
Okay.
So, but I don't know what the problem is. Yes, SDP is right.
You think so?
We need to test run. Yeah, we need to test run all these technological devices that will be used in the elections. Okay. Yes, we need to know. Like we already have the manual, so let them go through it. Because as of the last election we had, I think that should be around 2022 or 2023, right? 2020 election.
2023.
2023, yes, yeah, 2023. A lot of persons came out to vote. They were happy because I voted. I actually voted. I was even encouraging others to come out and vote, but they keep on telling me my vote doesn't count.
Interesting.
There's none of me going out there to vote. But for the first time, and for how long I've been on this planet Earth, that was my first time of seeing people come out en masse to come and vote because they wanted change. They were after a change. They have really seen something. Do you understand? Yeah. Now people casted their votes, results were transmitted, and a lot of things happened which I don't want to talk about, but it's very, very appalling. So I was thinking, using that particular thing that happened back then, they also have used it to correct what is ahead, so that we'll be able to cast our votes, our electrical devices, everything on point and standby and ready for the elections. So it's wrong if Senate is saying they are countering it, that electoral results will not be uploaded before or after the election. All these things needs to be ready. Whether you take them to USC and everything, no, see, it doesn't make sense at all. Because when you go to other countries and talk about these political matters, they will say you guys are still backward. We have these things yes, that's what people will say. We have them at our disposal. That means they are just there for formalities or for formality's sake. We are not using them. Or so that people will just say we are there, we are doing all of this, but you're not actually making use of that very particular electoral devices or equipment that were provided for the elections. So it's not good at all. I'm supporting the Social Democratic Party, and what the former Minister of Education also said, that it needs to be uploaded. I am in support. Absolutely behind them.
Ms. Chamaka, let me also remind you that the political landscape of Nigeria and political landscape of the so-called developed countries you're looking at are two different things. Do you think Nigeria is ready to transit fully into an electronic election system?
We are ready. They are ready. But the thing of the personal interest is what is playing out here.
If you're saying personal interest, don't forget that these senators were elected by constituencies, and they are representing their constituencies. So we don't. I beg to disagree when you say personal interest, because they are not. They are not fixating their stance on so-called personal interest, like you said. It is for the benefit of the citizens towards the forthcoming election. Because even if we are to transit into real-time results transmission, and then something happen, there will likely be a backlash from the citizens saying, after all, they knew we are not ready, so why did they go ahead with it?
Okay, first, let me ask you, why are the senators against them using the technological devices that they provide?
They're not technically against it. They are saying, yes, it's a welcome development, but it should be given time before it's being used.
How long?
We can't tell, but
when did we have the last election? That was 2023.
Okay.
And today, this year is 2026. So we've had a long time. If we are doing well in technology in Nigeria, a lot of payment, a lot of activities go on technologically. So what stops us from embracing this into the political system?
Don't forget that when we talk about electronic transition of results, there are communities that don't know what is called internet. There are communities
sensitized.
Yeah, so that could be one of the reasons the SNET seems to be stalling the passage of the bill. To ensure that these people are sensitized effectively before this is carried out. Because imagine an old woman, like you said, 2023, you came out to vote enthusiastically. An old woman comes out to vote and she's seen electronic devices in front of her, and she hasn't gotten an idea of how to use it. Don't you think it will look a bit strange to her, and then it will likely lead to political apathy in most citizens for the elections?
The thing is, we always have a pre-sensitization activities before any main program comes ahead. I believe that.
Okay.
So the problem with our own political matters, the one that has to do with technology is not actually our problem. Because if you go to villages, most persons are inside villages, and how do you get to know? Through technology. So it is not an impediment. If let's say an old woman comes or an old man comes, and there is someone standby to help him or to educate him and tell him, sir, do this, do that, these things will be made easier.
So you feel?
And another thing is, I wouldn't want to dive into political matters the way I want to.
No, you're free. You're free to go ahead and add your view.
I wouldn't want to do that, because I've gone through. Because what about me is that I always learn.
Okay.
Irrespective of what I found myself in, you will see that when you go to salons, if you go to any place at all,
Yeah.
some persons, other persons will always say, my child taught me this with my phone. They will end up teaching their fellow elderly women. So that particular reason you are giving me, I don't support it. It is not enough reason at all.
Okay.
Okay, in the last election, sorry for cutting you short, sir.
Yeah.
In the last election, had it been that things were done accordingly, we would have known who the real winner of the election was.
What do you mean by what do you mean by according? What do you mean by accordingly?
Yeah.
What's your idea of?
Let's not go there.
No, let's know your idea. What is your idea of accordingly? Okay, let me hold your line on that. I want to move to the last story for the discussion. Former Minister of Education Obi Ezekwesili has cautioned Nigerian senators that Agala. At least two in a row. Minister of Education Obi Ezekwesili has cautioned Nigerian senators that they are playing with fire by retaining ambiguities in the amended Electoral Act. This is as she insisted that Nigerians are calling for the real-time electronic upload of election results at polling units. Speaking with newsmen on Friday, Ezekwesili reacted to the Senate's passage of the bill amending the Electoral Act following hours of debate and controversy over provisions governing electronic transmission of results and the discretion granted to the Independent National Electoral Commission. I think that the fundamental issue is that the Senate retained the INEC 2022 Act section 60 subsection 5, which actually became infamous for the loophole that it provided for the INEC to not accord Nigerians the basis to trust it anymore. She said she recalled assurances given by the electoral body ahead of the 2023 general election, particularly to young voters, which were not fulfilled. The then chairman of INEC kept telling especially the young people of this country that he was assuring them that they would exercise the effectiveness of using online transmission into the INEC results viewing portal. Ezekwesili said, according to her, the failure to upload results electronically became the foundation for widespread suspicion and legal outcomes that weakened transparency. Let me stop here. I'll still continue. Let me ask Miss Chamaka, can you hear me? Okay, this is Obi Ezekwesili towing the same line which you are towing, saying the demand for the electronic upload of results is an opinion of the masses. I don't know. Let me get your thoughts if I ask my question.
Okay, and to answer that question and to address that particular question, and I think people need transparency.
Transparency, yes. Okay.
Transparency, yes. They want to know if their vote will really count. What we are doing or what we are about to do, in what way will it benefit the masses? See, at times you get to know what you are supposed to do in your tenure from the masses, and according to the way they behave or they react towards a particular issue.
Okay.
I also heard you say that they can transmit their results by themselves. That's personally, like maybe from your own phone to the machine. So I don't know how possible that is, but there is nothing technology cannot do. So I'm still in support that the Senate should not even counter them at all. Like I said before, if you are against the technological usage of the devices for the election, that means there must be a reason behind it. And what is that reason? That's what the masses want to know. For them to be saying that they want a real-time election upload. Do you understand? So if the senators are countering it, there should be a reason. Like I said, it's still boiling down to the personal interest I've been trying to talk about here. What is actually the reason? Because to me, it is a kind of is a welcome development, like you said, and it's a beautiful one. So by the time we go or we cross this stage, we'll go over and face another things or other pressing matters to address. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But it's as if we keep on sitting on a particular thing for years, and it's not good. It's not good. So I think the senators, they'll have to give us a reason why they are counting.
Why you seek, sorry, why you seek the Senate's reasons? I'm positing to you that the technicalities involved in transiting into electronic upload of results. We may not see it now, but they must have, before this bill got to this stage, they must have sat down and verify it to understand, and then look. There must have been a thorough analysis into this for them to say, okay, look.
What is the result of the analysis? What is the result of the analysis?
I'm just telling you one of them technicalities involved. We may not be able to suffice it, and then the part of sensitization. Most communities are not internet connected wise. Thus, if it's just like carrying a mast and planting inside. Okay, I don't know if you're getting me because you're smiling, but I'm still looking at it.
Oh God. I understand.
But let's point out that the Senate did not vehemently kick against it. They are only saying there should be a delay. It shouldn't be imposed first. It should be ratified first of all before we carry it out.
Okay, they are right that they should be ratified before we carry it out. They will have enough time. This is still January 2026, and the election is 2027. So we have enough time to carry out those analyses and to rectify those things. Do you understand? Because I know when it comes to political matters, like I said, I wouldn't want to dive in. When it comes to political matters, a lot of persons allow their personal interest to overshadow everything. Like I said, I wouldn't want to call names. I wouldn't want to call names at all.
All right, you're still standing. You are still standing on the.
Yes, that is what is happening. But my own, yes, they said you can't just impose. We understand. Okay, one wouldn't want people to. Okay, it's not like this is a democracy state. Do you understand? Everyone have the right to their speech, freedom of speech, and all of that. But we need to know the reason why they are saying it should not be imposed. If it comes to impose, that means you are trying to force it on people.
All right.
But I believe now 60% or 80% are used to technology. So that is not an excuse at all.
All right, Ms. Chamaka, because of time, this is where we wrap it up on this episode of Atn Politics. I want to thank you, Ms. Agba Jeronye, Chamaka Light, a social political analyst. I hope I pronounced the name well. Forgive me. Thank you for being on the show.
I'll give you a kudos for that.
Oh, thank you for being on the thank you for being on the show. It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you also for having me in the show.
All right, and we are open for sponsorship of this program, jingles and advert placements, news and events coverage, personality, society and political interviews, product, service promotion, and commercials. Watch us live on www.atlanticnetwork.tv, on Facebook and YouTube Atlantic Television Network, on Apple TV channel 205, Limes TV platform, iFastech platform, Apple TV, Neda TV, Iroko TV. Connect with all us on social. Subscribe, like, and share. Facebook Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, and on X at Atlantic TV Net. And not forget, peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you for watching. I am Favor. Chi Question Michael.